Welcome back to Street Switched Photography. This is the Planning Committee 2025 at Melton Borough Council. Was it a waste of time and money? Let's do this.
Street Switched Photography.
So welcome back for a bit of a late one tonight. I didn't realise there was a planning committee going on down at Melton Borough Council the other day, and I've had a request. I'm not going to mention anybody's names because they might not want the name actually mentioning, but it says, can you please review the Melton Borough Council planning meeting on Thursday? Absolutely shocking, a waste of time and money. So I left a message after that saying yes. Of course I will. I've only just been alerted to it. I haven't watched this meeting. I don't know what went off. I don't know all the ins and outs and everything. So let's take a look and see exactly what it was that happened and see whether we think it was a waste of time and money. Let's begin. So far we have no sound. So,
Adcock,
here we go.
Olnett, Ian Atherton, Ronan Brown and Marilyn Gordon. To my left are councillors James Mason, Margaret Glancy, Councillor Sharon Butcher, who's substituting for Councillor Lee Higgins, and Councillor Don Pritchett. We have a team of officers present who are to my left, the Legal Services Manager Tom Pickwill. To my right, the Planning Development Manager Louise Parker, Director for Place and Prosperity Lydia Rustling, Planning Development Team Leader Chaya Pancholi.
So the one heading this meeting is Councillor Alan Thwaites. You heard all the other people that was there. There was two people that weren't there. One, Lee Higgins, who I think Sharon Butcher is actually standing in for.
We also have our Democratic Services team present, assisting with the technology and taking the minutes. Sarah Evans and Ellen Hange. The apologies for absence, as I've just mentioned, the apologies for Councillor Higgins. We also have apologies for Councillor Holmes. Councillor Butcher is present as substitute for Councillor Higgins.
Fair enough.
Item agenda 2, the minutes. To confirm the minute.
Now, again, I just want to make this very clear that I have not watched this meeting. I know it's a planning committee. I don't know what happened according to the message. Apparently it was a complete waste of time and money and a complete shambles. Now, nobody in particular is to blame for that. People turn up to these meetings. There's two sides to the meetings and everything else. So I just want to make it clear that none of the councillors or none of the committees or anything like that would have been solely responsible for this. But we'll take a look
of the meeting held
and see
on the
what it
28th
looks
of
like.
August 2025. Like a proposer for the minutes, Councillor Mason.
A proposer for the minutes.
Councillor Olnett.
And they've got a seconder. Pip Olnett's there as well.
Anybody have any comments? Okay. Marilyn, of course. What can I?
Yeah.
I actually like doing these reviews of these meetings. They might seem boring to some people, but I like to do them because I like to sort of, add a little bit of my own personality to them.
But it's really to do with a comment that I made, so just to be noted. And what it was, I just wanted to make sure that a note has gone to Leicestershire County Council, because there was problems to do with parking of cars concerning dropping off and picking up of school children on the roads to school, because there's going to be a school in the future there, as we all know.
So is this confirmation of whether that's been sent,
I want to know
which is
whether...
not really the minutes, though?
No, it's just a note, and I didn't know when to bring this up. It's just that it gets congested, and some parents, they're there half an hour before picking the...
So this is Independent Councillor Gordon, who I've sat with and had coffee. I've known her for many, many years, since I was a child. Lovely lady.
Children up, and it causes a lot of traffic on the streets.
Okay. I'll ask
roads.
the officers if they can respond to that after the meeting.
Lovely,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on the minutes? In that case, I'd like to those to vote for the minutes, or your acceptance of the minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 in favour. Any abstentions? 2 abstentions.
So I've just looked at how long this meeting actually goes on for. It only goes on for 40 minutes, which is a bit strange.
Any against? Oh, sorry, three abstentions. Any against? No, those minutes are carried then. Thank you very much. Move on to item agenda 3, declarations of interest. Members to declare any interest as appropriate in respect of items to be considered this evening. Anybody wish to declare? Councillor Glancy.
Yes, I'd like to declare an interest in agenda item 4.1. But should it? Yeah, I just need to do it before you because it's next agenda item.
Any other declarations of interest? In that case, then I'll just put mine, which is for item 4.2, the application on Melton Road, Burton Lazars. As ward councillor for this application, I will be leaving the committee and taking no part in the debate nor the vote on this application.
So what that means is if you've got any vested interest in certain applications and things like that, you're not allowed to comment, or I don't even know if you're allowed to be in the room or anything during the debate and everything else to see whether anybody's going to get planning permission for this or planning permission for that, because you may be seen to trying to influence the decision and things like that. It's very complicated, but it's very it's democratic, if you want to put it like that.
I will be speaking as ward councillor. Councillor Mason will be taking the chair for this application. So I'll now move on to the schedule of...
Is somebody taking the chair for that application? That's odd.
Applications. Application 24/01038/FUL has been withdrawn. So if anybody's here to listen to that application, I do apologise if
What is the reason it's been withdrawn?
The note didn't get through to you. But this item has been withdrawn following the submission of late information, which requires further assessment by the officers.
Interesting. So they withdrew the application due to late information.
This decision has been made in the interest of ensuring a fair, informed and balanced process when this application returns to the committee.
Totally agree with that.
It is important that we are given the time to fully consider this material and that members can engage with officers before the application is brought back for determination. I recognise that the time and effort that both officers and members have already put into preparing for this item, and I want to thank them, everyone, for their understanding. In that case, we will then move on to item 4.2, at which point I will stand down and hand over to Jim. There will be a short delay of a couple of minutes while they change the cameras over. Thanks.
So they're just changing... Yeah, they're changing seats. So is this because Councillor Thwaites has got vested interest in the application, or... I don't understand. It must be. Is he leaving the room? Or is he just going to sit in the public gallery?
Thank you very much for that. And we'll move on.
Sorry, they
Sorry.
have to leave the room. If they've got an interest, they have to leave the room. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Unless they're speaking as a board member. But I brought that up and it was passed at the full council.
Okay.
Yeah, to leave the room. Yeah.
So this is Councillor Gordon saying that they have to leave the room, and it was brought up at the last council. If that's the rules, the guy sitting to the right should know this and be ready for it. He is the legal representative, I believe, in the room. What an odd set of circumstances. That's all I can say so far.
Hang on a minute. Just a minute now.
Yeah, make sure you turn your microphone off so nobody can hear what you're saying. Very democratic. Right, I'm unsure on what's happening because I can't hear anything. Let me just go and get my something from over here. I'll literally be 2 seconds. Quitting vaping. So I'm unsure as to exactly what is going on here. So they swapped chairs. I believe Mr. Thwaites is somewhere down here in
Just
the public
check the
gallery.
constitution, and it's fine for the ward member to stay in the room.
So it's just said it's okay for them to stay in the room. They've just checked the ins and outs of it, I believe.
It's a couple of, wasn't the last full council, I believe it was the other full council before then. And we passed it as an amendment that, yeah, we
Oh.
did, that they have to leave the room. Yeah.
So they should have known this. There was an amendment tabled, and basically, let's see what they say. That's interesting. That is interesting. I've got to admit. Now, if Miss Gordon hadn't have said anything, how many times has this happened before? Is it all one-sided? Is what all one-sided? Sorry, I don't understand the
I'll just
question.
ask Tom to read out the relevant paragraph or sentence in the constitution.
Thank you, Chair. This is in relation to the Planning Committee procedural rules. So 2.18 of those rules is where an application is due to be considered at a meeting of the Planning Committee. Any member of the committee who represents that ward should recuse themselves from consideration of that item and must leave the room, but may request to speak under 2.10 above and 2.19 below.
It is.
If the local ward member or ward members or ward member of a neighbouring ward which is affected is present, so that's not relevant. We're not talking about that here. 2.19.
They only hear what they want to hear. This is a comment from somebody that's on my YouTube at the moment. Yeah, maybe I haven't watched this meeting yet. I just got requested to review it, so that's what I'm actually doing now.
So 2.19, where a member of the planning committee decides that they want to act as a representative.
So what we have so far is basically Alan Thwaites has actually swapped chairs to head the meeting with this guy here, not the one on the left, and that would be because I don't know whether he's got vested interest in the planning application or not, and there was an amendment tabled 2 meetings ago to say that they have to leave the room, so he must be sat in the public gallery but supposed to leave the room. That's what I'm getting from this. I don't know what everybody else is getting from it.
Local ward or neighbouring ward.
I could be wrong. Don't take that for gospel.
Supporting and advocating the views of constituents. They must give at least 2 days' notice of their intention to speak, which will be confirmed.
Now, I was requested to actually do this meeting because somebody was saying it was a waste of time and money. So far, it's been 10 minutes and nothing has been done.
He or she will be allowed to speak at the committee for a maximum of 3 minutes. Where there is more than one such member, that time shall be shared by agreement or in the absence of agreement equally, and shall sit in the public gallery for the entirety of that agenda item, being called forward at the appropriate time by the chair to address the committee, following which he or she shall leave the room until the committee has made its decision. So they can remain until they speak, and then they have to leave after that. Yeah, so it can remain until they speak, and then it's a case of leaving.
Not if there was an
So if the
amendment
wording's in doubt,
tabled.
are we happy with that as a committee? Yep. Okay. Move on.
Sonia. Yeah, so long as he leaves the room after he spoke, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gordon. Thank you. So we'll move on
So, yeah, I was right.
to the item itself. This is application 15/00127 for UT. And can I invite the planning officer to present the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. This is an outline application for the erection of up to 175 dwellings, associated public space, land
175 dwellings, so another 175 homes being built in Melton Mowbray. Land adjacent to Charles Cottage, Melton. Right, okay. Side access. Right.
landscaping and drainage. Bear with me one moment. Okay, I'll try and speak up a bit. Is that okay? Okay, so this is an outline application for the erection of up to 175 dwellings, associated public space, landscaping and drainage infrastructure, with all matters reserved except for the access. The site is referenced as adjacent Child's Cottage, Melton Road, Burton Lazars. Members will note the application reference of 1500127, which does indicate that the application has been with the local planning authority for just over 10 years. That is because this application was originally submitted to support the allocation of the land for the Melton South Sustainable Neighbourhood as part of the Melton Local Plan. Various things have caused the application to stall and be delayed over that time, including the adoption of the local plan. The approval of the North and East Distributor Road, providing the access to the site, master planning of the wider site, and finally the potential for the Southern Distributor Road to be funded by Homes England, impacting on the potential internal layout. This application is now, however, ready to be determined as a standalone application, as its access can be provided off the newly constructed roundabout 6 of the North and East Melton Mowbray Distributor Road.
So I think this road is something to do with the bypass out towards Burton Lazars. So,
which is pictured on the right hand side of the slide. The site location plan shows the location of the site to the south of Melton, with the existing built form of the town along the northern boundary of the site. Burton Road along the east, and agricultural land to the south and west. The site is allocated in the adopted Melton Local Plan for development as part of the wider Melton South Sustainable Neighbourhood. There are other planning applications currently under consideration.
At this rate, we're just going to become another flaming suburb of Leicester. And with devolution and everything, it's going to play straight into the Leicester City's and Leicester County Council's land grab, isn't it? I'm dreading it.
For the wider neighbourhood, but today it is this part for 175 homes in outline only.
You see, we've got new homes going up absolutely everywhere in Melton, up each main strip of Melton Mowbray. It does not matter which way you go, there's something happening. There's homes going up that area. I think the only one that I haven't actually seen anything happening up is probably Saxby Road. Every other road has got buildings or something on it. We've got up to 4,000 new homes being built. That is a massive influx of people into Melton Mowbray. We haven't got the infrastructure to hold the people we've already got at the moment. They say we're going to get another doctors. Try finding the doctors to go into that doctors. It's going to be an absolute fucking disaster.
Unfortunately, the Conservation Officer's comments were mistakenly not included in the report, but they are available online to view.
Unfortunately. But they are available online to view, which they could have put up on the screen here.
In summary, there are no objections to the development, and the harm to the setting of the scheduled monument is not considered to outweigh the benefits of the development.
Monument?
Members will note that ecology comments remained outstanding when the report was published.
So why has this took so long to actually put through? There must be some sort of issue. It's obviously got history, hasn't it?
And I can now advise that these have been received, and they have advised that there are no objections but have recommended 3 conditions which I have set out in full for you.
It depends if they collect on the section 106. I mean, making money from it and receiving money from it from Melton Borough Council and stuff like that's all usually to do with if they collect from the section 186. And I've got to be honest, the council hasn't really got a very good track record of collecting from section 106s, have they?
Okay. Next slide, please. The first additional condition relates to Great Crested Newt Mitigation Licence.
The Great Crested Newt is actually an endangered species. Basically, it's the same as if it goes with things like dormouse and things like that, and bats and all this sort of thing for conservation. The silver-crested newt, as it's also known as, I think, is basically a protected newt which can reside in ponds and things like that. They're actually becoming more common, but they still need to be protected because of this.
And reads as, no development shall commence until a Great Crested Newt mitigation licence has been obtained from Natural England. The type of licence shall be confirmed based on availability within the district level licensing scheme and or direct liaison with Natural England. A copy of the licence shall be submitted to the local planning authority prior to the commencement of works. Next slide, please. The next condition.
Right, what we'll do is I'm going to go forward. We know what this is all about. And we'll go straight back to the committee and see what happens.
Been afforded to the site. That's 3.5 million. On page 23, there is a list of contributions that are sought from the local highways authority with regard to the site. Two things. One is, can I be absolutely clear that these do not figure in the summary of infrastructure requirements on the same page at 7.13? That's the first question. And the second question, can she clarify for me what a pole and flag is at a cost of £264 per stop? I would be interested to know that one, just for the sake of a debate. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Thank you for your questions, Chair. So in terms of descriptions, a pole and flag is a highway technology for the bus stop. So it's a bus stop pole and a sign stating what the village is or what the stand number is. So it is a specific highway bus stop direction.
They haven't got problems with them sorts of flags, have they?
As opposed to a normal flagpole. With regards to the contributions, yes, you will see at 7.1.3 of the report, there is a list of all of the contributions, which also includes waste and libraries. Just to be clear again, members, those are not included in the recommendation for the final Section 106. The only monies to be secured within the Section 106 are for education and an on-site contribution of 7.5% affordable housing.
You see, with the history of Melton Borough Council collecting on 106s, you'll have to go and look at previous videos for that. I mean, they've allowed all these planning applicants to go ahead. How many of the actual planning applicants have they actually gave them for a start? And how many have been collected on? How much is outstanding?
Can I ask for other questions now? Questions? Thank you very much, Councillor Brown.
Louise, can I ask why I can't see it, but maybe it's somewhere, the viability study, has it been published? Are members allowed to see that viability study?
Liability study?
So the report isn't online, but the conclusions are online.
Just bring you back to sort of national guidance, basically says any viability assessment should be prepared on the basis that it will be publicly available. Just want to know why this isn't publicly available and why I as a member can't see that report.
Councillor Ronan Brown there actually pointing out something rather important by the sounds of it.
So we've published the conclusion, and the conclusion of which sets out the basis of what the recommendation is for the provision of Section 106 contributions.
Pedantic. But as an elected member, for me to make a full decision, why can't I see that report?
If somebody wants you to make a decision on something and you're requesting the information, surely you should have the information to hand. You can't just come into a planning committee expecting everybody to do, you know, jump backwards through hoops for you and everything else and just say, oh, well, if we don't see that, it doesn't really matter, we'll just fob it off and then we probably won't collect on the Section 106 and we probably won't do this and we probably won't do that. That's not how it works.
If you can, sorry about that. If you can just raise, just to concur with you on that point, it is a point I've raised myself outside the meeting, and I've asked for it to be published on the portal. I know it's a little after the, it's after.
So my review of this meeting so far is they have achieved absolutely fuck all. and they are 25 minutes into the meeting.
The decision may or may not be made, but I do think that I shall look at it and bear witness to it, Councillor Brown. And I do share your concern about it not being on the portal, and I would like to recommend that viability studies are complex by nature, and complex by nature because they are governed by the RICS rules. And if you're not a member of the RICS, you're unlikely to understand it anyway. But nonetheless, it should be published.
Rules are rules, I suppose. But did they really need to call this meeting? Is there any sort of arrangement of the meeting so they know things like this won't occur?
It should be open for inspection. So could I just say that if you could have it on the portal, then that would be an advantage to us. Does that resolve the matter, Councillor Brown? Maybe not.
Well, I know we all have different skills here, but from my own personal view, working in the housing sector, I think I would be in a position professionally to understand that viability, which would then maybe bring me to a decision one way or another. So that's the point I'm making, and I'm sure other people, whether they're qualified or not, would be able to decipher that as well.
This is a bit of a... I see what the person means now by a bit of a joke. Now, I'd also like to make it clear that obviously the councillors would have been... I don't know if they'd have been unsure or not. What the actual hell?
Satisfied with this point.
Let's have a look.
Thank you for that, Councillor. I'm not really satisfied with this point. I'm just going to call for an adjournment, if that's okay. And I'd like the officer to step out with me outside and we'll talk this matter through. Thank you.
So they're going to all leave the chamber and talk the matter through. So for 28 minutes, that's for 39-minute meeting long, and it's 28 minutes in. They've achieved absolutely nothing. So here they adjourn. I'm just going along it now, as you can see. And they come back at 35:33. Now, is it taxpayers' money that pays for these meetings? If anybody knows, please leave a comment. This shouldn't happen. This should not happen.
Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Given the comments made by Councillor Brown that these papers are relevant, they should be made available. They're not being made available to the members through the portal, and therefore not been made relevant to the public, and therefore I don't think we could proceed with this application at this time, because we need to consider the totality of the application, and this is...
So the application is not going to have a decision made on it on this evening. What a complete and utter waste of time. Now again, I'd like to make it clear that the councillors don't know exactly what it is that's going to happen when they go and, they look at both sides of the story, whether they're going to give planning permission, whether they're not going to give planning permission, whether they're going to collect what they're going to get off the Section 106. It's of a sort of a negotiation type atmosphere, but for money to be wasted like this is a little bit silly, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Somebody wanted me to review the meeting.
Part of it, and a major part of it. So
there's certain information that isn't available that should have been made available before the meeting, so people could actually understand exactly what it is that the planning applicant was actually trying to achieve. This actual case has got history, by the sounds of it, over in Burton Lazarus. Somebody's had to leave the room. Councillor Thwaites, I think it was, because I don't know whether he has vested interests in that or not. Very interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on this one.
I'd like to propose that we defer this application.
Application
and take a
deferred.
vote on it at some point. Is a seconder? Yeah. Councillor Brown will second that. Yes, please.
If you don't mind, can we please make sure that this, as we always used to in the past, that these things are on, mentioned it, but people do have the intelligence to read it and will absorb that information, and it explains the journey that we take in the decision-making process, and that is all important, how we are tonight. I think we all need to agree that journey and the conclusion of that.
If I can just explain my comment about the RICS, much of the viability is based on land values, and because it's land values, it's very difficult. If you haven't got the base data, and that's RICS data, and that's what I mean, to actually calculate it for yourself, and that's where I was coming from. Not that people are unintelligent; they can understand it. However,
Who said they were unintelligent? No one's calling anybody unintelligent. Stop making shit up.
if you haven't got the base data, you can't calculate it, and that is the base that I was coming from. And if people think that I was talking down to them, I apologise to them. Being the next member of the RICS, I'm like that. Thank you very much. So could I have a show of hands, please, to defer this item?
So that's the item deferred, I think.
Carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you very much. I apologise to the people in the audience, but I have no choice but to make this paper relevant and accessible to the public and particularly members. But thank you very much for coming. So, sorry, Councillor Allnut.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's a very wise decision. And when we do meet to consider this item again, I would appreciate a full synopsis and analysis by Councillor Brown on this missing document. So I'm certainly not qualified.
This is interesting.
I shall look forward to his analysis of it and why it is relevant to the decision we're taking, and also what his conclusions there are from it. I know he's...
What's so funny? This guy finding something extremely amusing. A little bit confused.
He's a bit of an expert on planning, so I shall look forward to hearing it once he's read the document. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Allnut. I take that as it is said. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Meeting ended at 18:38. Thank you.
And that's it. That was the end of the meeting. Basically what happened there, and my review of that meeting is a load of people entered a room, sat down, played musical chairs, left for a few minutes, came back in, sat down and left again, all at the taxpayers' expense, with absolutely fuck all achieved. Fantastic job, Melton Borough Council. I'm not going to point out any single people in this because none of them would have known how this meeting was going to go. So it's no particular individual's fault. I want to make that very, very clear. We don't do that anymore on my channel. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. But yeah, these meetings, this is going to be one to be to look out for the future, I think, because it was a bit of a shambles, wasn't it? It was a little bit of a mess. And there have been other meetings that I haven't looked at yet that I'm guessing would have been a lot more structured than this. Now, I'll try and find out some more about it and get some more relevant information for the very near future to find out exactly what it is what happened. But yeah, and how much these meetings actually cost. What a waste of time. But I got asked to review it, so there you go. There's your review of this meeting. This has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please go and give me a big thumbs up or a big thumbs down, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Street Switch Photography.